Nomad here. Welcome to the Career Musician sitting by the pool and reflecting about the Grammys. Do you have some comments? Do you have some thoughts? I do. And we also got a great new podcast episode coming up where we chop it up and talk about award shows. But before we get into that, here's my take on the Grammys, what they do, how they can help, what they perhaps stand for, how they can elevate a career. All right. I've never looked at music the same way I look at sports. So in sports, there's measurable outcomes like scores, times, stats, rankings, wins, and losses, but music doesn't have that. Let's face it. Music is evaluated entirely through opinion. It's subjective. It's based on whether you like this or not. Personal taste, emotional connection, etc. So two people can listen to the same exact performance or song and have completely different opinions or reactions. That doesn't make either one right or wrong, correct? It just makes music opinion-based. Now, don't get me wrong. If you believe that winning a Grammy or receiving another major award can help your career, I agree with you. It can bring visibility. It can create awareness and it can open doors, but it doesn't all of a sudden remove the subjectivity of this business, meaning it doesn't extract the opinions. And while we're talking about the Grammys, I also want to acknowledge something important. The current president of the Grammy Awards is Harvey Mason Jr. Now, Harvey is a longtime colleague and friend of mine, and I think it's extremely important for you to hear his perspective directly, not just mine. So I did an episode with Harvey back around the pandemic time. Check it out right here. It's a rare look into how the organization actually thinks and how complex this entire ecosystem really is. I'm also not speaking about awards from the outside looking in. I, in fact, have received awards in my career. Never a Grammy, but I have won an ASCAP award for Best Song back in 2009 with Toby Mac and Kirk Franklin. And here's the honest truth. I didn't even collect the award until 10 years later. Someone at the office called from ASCAP and said, look, we have this award. Do you want it? If not, we're going to toss it. So they sent it to me. That's how far off the radar it was for me. Not because it wasn't meaningful, because it was awesome. And today it's still on display in my studio, but because I was working, period. I'm a working musician, a career musician. I also received an award for the Hollywood Music and Media Awards back in 2011 for one of my original songs. And again, I didn't attend that ceremony either. And it wasn't because I was hating on it or nothing else. I was working. I was busy. The fact of the matter is I never looked at my career as something that needed an award to validate it, right? If I were a plumber, I wouldn't be waiting around for a trophy for fixing a sink. I'd just be doing my job. And that's really what the career musician is all about and what we're built for, the working musician. You show up, you support an artist, you're in the band, you're in the house band backing multiple artists. Bam, you're on a production, you got the gig, you go to work. Eyes and ears wide open, mouth shut, you show up and do your job. It's just another day at the gig. And I've music directed a bunch of award shows. I can also tell you firsthand, things go wrong. Yes, all the time. I once played the American Music Awards with Leona Lewis, and I never got called back. Not because I played badly, but because I was told by the music director that my acoustic guitar wasn't loud enough. I think I wasn't digging in hard enough. He wanted me to dig in harder, and I just didn't give him what he wanted. That's it, how subjective these decisions can be. So when people talk about the ultimate career milestone, I always pause because I've also interviewed musicians who have won Grammys and watched it change absolutely nothing about their working life. Not because the award wasn't real, but because a career is built on consistency, relationships, and trust, not headlines. And that's why today's episode is not about whether awards are good or bad, but it's about perspective. It's about how careers are actually built, because that's what you're here to do, build a career in music. This week's episode is a real peek behind the curtain, Wizard of Oz style. Yes, you get to meet Oz. Because unless you've lived these moments, you don't really understand how fragile live production can be and how much professionalism matters when things go right, but especially when they go wrong. Hit me up with your comments and thoughts. I want to know what you think. Welcome to the Career Musician Podcast. My name is Nomad, your host and founder, and we are here at Center Staging in Burbank, California, which, by the way, is like the renowned rehearsal studio for all of the big acts. I mean, everybody who's anybody has been here. And today I have some very special guests with me. We have the career musician house band and our special guest of honor, who is the front of house for lots of great acts. I'm going to pass the baton over to my much better half, Lola, who knows a whole heck of a lot about center staging. Tell us more.
Oh my goodness. Center staging is, like you said, the creme de la creme. It is the premier rehearsal studio. Backline any award show that you've ever seen on TV. But as you can tell, I'm biased to center staging, and I can talk about it forever. Like in itself, that could be like several podcasts.
I agree, but the reason why I handed it over to you, because you have one story in particular.
Which one?
When Paul McCartney, Mick Jagger, the
best day ever.
The best day ever.
Yes, the best day ever it happened right over there. Today we're in Studio 3, which is one of the smaller studios, and it's on the OG side of center staging. Center staging has both sides of the street here in Burbank. One beautiful day, across the street, we have studios 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, etc., right? So in Studio 8, we had the best musician in the entire planet, in the universe. Like there is no better, in my opinion, and that is Sir Paul McCartney with Wings. And they were practicing for something, and I was like, I didn't eat. I just sat there in the parking lot for lunch. I was like, this is amazing. Next to Sir Paul McCartney was CSN, Crosby, Stills, and Nash. They were practicing for something. I know. It's like, oh, okay, what?
That is a great day.
There's more.
But wait, it's not. This is just halfway down the block. In Studio 10, we had the Rolling Stones.
Jesus.
The freaking Rolling Stones. And no, not just like their backing band. It was the Rolling Stones. Like Mick, everybody was there. And then on the very end, it was The Who. Who, you say? The fucking Who. Excuse me, I don't know if we cuss.
Roger Daltrey. I mean, come on.
It might have been Grammy week or something like that, yeah.
But think about that lineup. God forbid anything should have happened here. We would have lost all of rock and roll history.
Oh my God. Right? Don't even. It was like, I got no work done that week at all. But the best story is, and I'm not going to get up and demonstrate it for you, but basically,
this is a good one.
I'm staring out my window and I can see into Studio 8. It's just like a black hole because the door's open and you don't actually see what's inside, but I see the doors open. And this typical like cool dad Corvette, like it's really not that fancy.
I'll take one.
Maybe, you know what? Sure, we could call it. It actually is very close to the midlife crisis. It got that cobalt blue.
Midlife crisis. I'll take one.
Yeah, it's cobalt blue. It's beautiful, and it's cruising down the thing. And running out of Studio 8 is some guy, gangly, tall dude, running, waving his arms like this. And I swear to God, sorry, I hit your mic. He waves like this, and he's chasing down the Corvette. It's Mick Jagger, and Mick Jagger's chasing down this Corvette, and I'm like, well, who's in the Corvette? So the Corvette rolls down his window, and Mick leans in, and it's Paul McCartney talking to Mick Jagger in the parking lot right in front of me. And I'm like, what?
Wow.
The phone's ringing and I'm like, stop calling. And that's just, the best day ever.
That's
that was
amazing.
just one. That's just one story.
That's why I wanted you to
That's just
start,
one.
because that is an amazing intro to this episode. Yeah. All right. So that being said, here we are, center staging, Studio 3. Actually, I think the very first studio where you and I met, but that's a whole nother story.
That's another story.
We'll save that. Okay. Today we have with us in the house band, Emily Lauren on keys, and you are part of the career musician. You're a TCM Pro.
I sure am.
Part of the team.
Yeah.
You do lots of stuff aside from playing piano and keyboards, but you also help us with administrative stuff, and you do all the graphic design for the podcast and the socials.
I create the look of the world.
Yes.
As it appears through the lens of TCM.
Yes.
Love
It's
it.
very cool. It's been a lot of fun, and I'm excited, and it's getting a lot of interest. People are like, "Wait, what's that? What's that shiny thing over there?"
Yeah,
So something's working. I don't know.
it's good.
Thanks for being our shiny thing.
Yes. And to your right, we have Mr. Bond, Andy Bond.
Andy Bond.
Andy plays guitar, a killer guitar player,
Thank you.
and he's also guitar tech for me, which I am grateful for because I know I am not an easy client to tech for.
What?
It's just
You don't even know me that well.
That's why I'm so surprised.
it's not so bad. It's just all the broken gear.
There is a lot of broken gear.
It's like it's all old.
It's just
But
getting used.
vintage. Sorry, vintage.
I am a little older.
Not
I am
you.
vintagey, and some of my gear is vintage. No, it's because maintenance is such a pain in the arse.
But crucial.
You know,
Well,
but
no, I
crucial,
mean you have
yeah.
the vintage stuff, and that's just going to age.
Yeah,
The more you stomp on it.
absolutely. But you are an amazing talent and
Thank you.
an addition to the group.
Hey, and I'm Joel. I'm the drummer and the playback tech for the group. I also do a lot with the advancing the show with Nomad, helping out with building the playback tracks, backline info, stage plots, all sorts of little things. So I'll be jumping in. I was out of town when we did the filming for this, but I'll be jumping in as well in the corner here to share some thoughts.
So when I put shows together as a music director, oftentimes I kind of insert myself in the overseer position to make sure that all the positions are filled properly with competent people. And then also I try to make sure that I exercise some kind of ongoing management, if you will, to make sure everything, all the parts are moving along. With that comes the responsibility of hiring a front of house engineer, monitor engineer, production manager, sometimes. Other times it's, that's already done by the production who hires me. But in this case, it wasn't. So I was literally clamoring, trying to find somebody. I called a bunch of people, and one of my favorite dudes, Droke, we call him Droke,
yeah.
Michael Droke, amazing PM front of house guy. He's now in Nashville, but he's from the Bay Area. And I said, Mike, are you available? He said, no, I'm not, but call my boy Ace, who's in LA.
Gosh, that was
Yes. Now, but wait, there's more to this because I get the resume from Ace, and all my freaking guitar heroes are on his resume. And I'm just like you, Andy. I'm like, oh my God, wait, how is Satch? How is this? How is Petrucci? And who's this? And I'm just asking him all these fanboy questions. But nonetheless, Ace Baker, front of house production manager.
Woo, welcome,
Thank you.
welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you, and thank you for bringing me with you on this this gig and this journey, because it felt like 3 months and 3 days. I think we did the work of
that a
what
good
would
thing?
take 3 months normally to do. So
It
it was
really
exciting.
did.
It was good time, and I loved working with everybody here.
Man, so
We loved you.
Dream Theater is your mainstay gig, but you have worked with Sammy Hagar and Joe Satriani, amongst many others.
Yeah, that's right. I did Sammy for 16 years. I did the last year, the last tour he did, big summer tour. And with Joe, I've been with since I started with him with Chickenfoot when Sammy brought me into that. And then I met him. And so he started hiring me, and I've done, I think we're at about 12 years together too. So,
Wow.
And I actually got Dream Theater because Satriani, we were doing a G3, and one of the artists that was on that was Petrucci and Mike Mangini playing drums. And we had a great time. That tour was, everybody I think had fun on that one. And then they invited me to come along with them on the Dream Theater thing. So that's where I am now.
Man, and that's one of the, if you will, mainstay philosophies here at the Korean Musician. Just build relationships and the work will come, right? We always talk about.
That's
Because
right.
people are like, well, how do I network? My answer is you don't. You just be a good hang. Build relationships.
That's so important that you said that, because that, I'm going to move this
yeah,
one
please
second.
extend it so you feel more comfy.
This is good. One of the things is networking is not about calling people and saying, hey, I'm looking for a gig right now.
Yeah.
Networking is becoming friends with people, going to see their bands perform, going to get together for dinner sometimes, or things like that. And that's where then your friends, we all like to find gigs for other people. There's something very pleasing about doing that when you can give somebody some work, And I think that's the same thing I tell people. Just be involved. Pick up the phone, not just when you need a gig, but call and see how somebody's doing. How's
Invest
life?
in the relationship.
That's right, because that you will get the majority of work in this industry from friends. It's not going to be people who just find your resume somewhere
Right.
and call you up, right?
Yeah, no,
true.
we talk about that, like networking, which is a nasty word to a lot of people, but it's really so crucial to any business. And like you said, you want to employ your friends. It's always if you're in the forefront, of somebody's mind, then you're going to be referred.
That's right.
And even Nomad talks about this all the time. Like every gig is an audition because the musicians watching you in the room are like, oh, that guy was amazing. Or we're going to call that guy or that front of house man handled some shit. So
Yeah.
we're going to call him. He's going to be the leader. And so, yeah, every gig is an audition.
And I'm going to hop in there too real quick. We talk about this a lot with networking and making real relationships. Networking is relationships plus time. That's what it really is. It's your friends. And then opportunities will come sometimes years later from places you don't even expect because you've made good relationships along the way. My first real cool gig backing up some Rock and Roll Hall of Famers, the Drifters, came from a band I worked with like 2 years before that, who they had a drummer, but he didn't quite do his homework. And so they remembered me from 2 years ago, and they're like, man, this is the guy we want to play this show. So real networking is real relationships and time. So back to the show.
If you're a musician, at some point, you're going to have to audition. So don't roll the dice. Don't hope. Hope is not a strategy. Use the same principles that I've relied on for decades to land my biggest gigs. I'm talking tours, TV shows, film dates, music director roles, all of it. Download my free guide, Audition Secrets, 3 proven steps to nail the audition and get the gig. Full stop. Step in with confidence, step in prepared, and step in like a career musician who's ready to crush it. Grab the guide now at thecareermusician.com/audition. And my bro, you handled your shit.
You handled some stuff.
There was definitely some shit to handle.
A lot of curveballs thrown at you.
I think that night was equally challenging for everybody who was there. I mean, there were I'm sure we're going to talk about that, but
Are we going to talk about
some things that. But the problem with what we do is this is how it is. Things come up all the time, and you have to. Number one, it's always good to have a plan before it happens, because if you're waiting to figure out what to do after something's gone bad, that's a bad time to try to figure things out. The nerves, the buzz is going through your head. So just you guys handled the situation the other night beautifully, completely pro, and I was just standing out front trying to hang on and follow your lead.
And you did.
We should probably cue everybody in on what we're talking about.
I was just going to say that. Thank you, because I looked at my notes. I was like, oh, shoot, I forgot one of the most important things.
Well, we've introduced everybody, which is great. The Career Musician Team, welcome everybody. At some point, you've seen us on social media or at some point on a show, right? But what we do like to do is get together after a gig and unpack it, if you will. Download it, debrief it, whatever it is. Go over the good, the bad, the ugly. How can we make it better? And in this particular show, it's one of our annual shows that we do every year. And so it's not a new one to us.
This is like at that venue, in that style capacity show, I think we've done 7 or 8 now.
At least I can think of. And so, we know this. We know the crowd. We know the players. You were really the only new person, but you were so well overqualified in so many areas. So that wasn't a worry at all. And on top of it, this was the most that we've ever had to advance the show. We had a full-on rehearsal. We had a pre-production load-in day, which we never get. And we had all-day sound checking and line checking. So it's like we did the most prep we've ever done on this show. And the second the show started, everything went to hell. Like everything went off the rails. And
Hold on, you're getting ahead of it. So the reason why we're here today is we're debriefing about this show. But this will serve as the maiden voyage for our brand new format here at the Career Musician called the Green Room. And basically the Green Room, this is what we do in all the green rooms that we've spent time in around the world. How many green rooms have you gone in? You have a little coffee, water, maybe you have wine or something else. You have a little snack. And what do you do with the gang? The band and the crew, you talk. Oftentimes you talk shit. Oftentimes you commiserate about the shit that you just went through. Oftentimes you talk about victories.
it's a trauma bonding. Yes.
And that's why we're here. So welcome to the Career Musicians Green Room. Yeah.
Yay. Welcome. So
now,
back to the show.
Yeah, back to the show.
Okay. But that's also the other thing about live performance, live television, live sports, right? Like we've all been on stage.
A lot of live sports broadcasting.
Yeah, and you prepare. You have a schedule down to the minute, and sometimes it just all goes out the window, and you have to roll with it. Sometimes
it seems like every time it's like we're running late. We got to do something more. Yeah.
Sometimes that happens, and it's really a matter of how you roll with it, right? That's that continues the flow. It's always different and unique.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's get back to this gig that we just did.
The
together.
gig.
And we hit a lot of unexpected bumps in the road, but gang, we really preemptively prepared for everything that we could. I feel like with the playback system, perhaps that was our biggest hurdle. that we experienced.
So should we,
Yeah.
should we discuss exactly like what we experienced and then?
Yeah.
Okay, let's start at the
Absolutely.
beginning.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell the story?
Okay. And this was interesting because I'm starting the show on the Baby Grand with the tracks playing.
Oh, I'm
So-
sorry. Wait, can you say that again? Because that's pretty impressive. You were center stage.
Center stage.
Gorgeous in a
Baby Grand-
gorgeous
Thank you.
dress.
Dress,
Thank
flowing
you,
hair,
thank you.
baby grand piano.
Thank you.
And I gave you a solo.
You did.
just saying.
You did.
All
And that was just me messing around on one of the songs we were going to play. I was truly just messing around, just getting loose. And then Nomad was like, "Wait, what was that?" And I was like, "This is one of the songs we're playing." He's like, "Oh, we're doing that then. Like, you got it." I'm like,
Yep.
Sweet.
You got the gig.
I got the gig. Okay, we've been preparing all day. I feel good. I've got my in-ears in. I'm ready. I'm looking at the conductor, and it's ready, set, go. And I hit. What was it, like a D7 or something? And something sounded off. And I immediately look straight down. I check all my fingers because I had a couple of beats. So I'm like, okay, And then I hit the next chord. I'm like, oh,
This is
something.
weird.
And it's almost like time slowed down a little bit
Yeah.
because I was thinking so fast.
Right.
I'm like, the piano got tuned this morning. Could have been this. Could have been that. Did someone move the keyboard? And something got messed
Well,
up.
it was tuned twice this morning
Yeah.
and then just before the show.
That's what I was thinking. I'm
Yeah,
like, it
yeah.
was just tuned. There's no way. Like, what happened? And
This is the top of the show, the first notes.
the first few notes. I'm like,
Of a live
something's
streaming
off.
show.
Yeah,
It's
live
like,
TV.
And live
welcome,
audience.
welcome to the show. And then here it is. Yeah.
Yeah. And I look up at my bandmates and they're like tuning. I think Max was sliding up to whatever note it was. I'm like, what is going on
Yeah.
around here? You guys were tuning your
So
guitars.
what happened with me is I have that sort of like pedal tone kind of, what was it called? It's the African sort of
Yeah, it's like a West African really cool
Groove, yeah.
ostinato kind of thing. Yeah.
And I was doing that, and the second I hit the D major chord, I was like, whoa.
This isn't right.
I'm like, I thought, I slipped into a half step down
Yeah,
or
it's
something.
easy to play
so
the wrong fret.
I'm like, I'll just wait for the next bar. And I quickly check my tuning. I'm like, I'm in.
Yeah.
I start to do it again. Same thing. I look over at you, and you're frantically tuning your guitars. I look at you, you're going like this, and I'm like, no, I went on stage right before the show. I tuned every one of your guitars.
Are you sure you tuned my guitars, bro?
I did.
You better be.
But I was like,
man.
I'm panicking
get
at this
good
point in my
text
head because I was like, did I tune me and Nomad like a half step down or something? Or what is going on
It's
here?
so funny. We all thought it was us. We're
Yeah.
like, what?
But then I look over at you, and you just stopped playing, and you're looking around, and then finally you went, stop.
You called it.
Everybody stop. But you did it at a good time where there was like a slight crescendo, which is what she was doing, and everyone just stopped.
Yep.
And then what did you start? You got in the microphone,
I was on
and
the
you
talkback mic.
immediately
Yep.
started kind of like just, we're going to fix this. And why don't you say what you said
Yeah.
with everything?
Yeah, no. So from at that point, and I'm so glad you did that because this is, well, at least for me, but I think it applies pretty universally. This is the sign for stop, right? So everybody stop, right? So this is the top. Go back to the top. This is loop. This is stop. I did that, and I'm staring at Jeff Beal,
Yeah.
who is the composer for the song that we're performing. Now, if you don't know his name, you can Google him, but he's done a shit ton of huge
He's
films and
legit.
TV shows. He's on point.
Yeah.
So you're dealing with a heavyweight composer. He looks up at me because he's conducting the choir and the orchestra. He's got his charts here and everything, and he looks up at me and he just goes, "Oh my God." And I'm hiding
fireable
under
offense.
an imaginary rock if I could, right? And I just went like this, and he got the signal too, and he tacited everybody. And then I kind of panicked. I knew what to do, but I needed a beat for myself. So he went like this. And then he started from the top with no tracks. So now at that point, in that 300 millisecond, I stopped, he stopped, you all stopped, the rhythm section, you guys were on point with me. And then he took the reins, he took the baton out of my hand, thankfully. And he goes, and then he started with no tracks, and the whole band followed him. And I even said, guys, watch Jeff, follow Jeff. Kill the computer, that's
Yeah.
it, we're done.
I remember
And then
exactly,
we did the
yeah.
whole song without it. Now, why is that a big deal? Well, here's the situation. He and I had been going back for about 2 weeks. he built those playback tracks specifically for this performance. He had a 10-piece choir, a high school choir, which they sounded beautiful at the gig, but then he pre-recorded them. So now it became like a 20-piece choir, 30-piece choir. He stacked them, right?
It was literally like straight out of Home Alone.
Yeah.
You know?
It sounded great.
Oh, it was amazing.
It was very touching, and
Yeah.
it had all these different world music elements mixed with the choir and a
Beautiful.
great message.
That's exactly what I was
beautiful.
thinking. Home Alone. It's so funny you'd say that.
And then he built this special percussion track. So he probably had 6 to 8 layers of playback to enhance performance. But the performance didn't hinge on the playback.
No.
It didn't
That was
rely
just-
on it.
yeah.
In fact, remember during he was like, bring the choir down.
Down.
Yeah.
That's right,
So
at sound check.
so the real choir was more prominent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So he took over, and then we did the song top to bottom. Now, my biggest concern there was, oh my gosh, I can't believe this happened. So much to the point where when he accepted his award, because he won, he goes, well, thank goodness I don't have playback up here to screw up on me as he's giving his
Oh, I
thanks.
didn't even catch him say that.
Man. And that was just like dagger to the heart. I'm like, oh, but at least you did it to my face.
Yeah, I remember I like shot you a look. I was
Yeah,
like, ooh.
I look over at you, I look at everybody, and then I look up into the crowd, and I just am face to face with Michael Keaton. And I'm like,
Oh
dude.
my God.
I was like, dude, that's my favorite actor. It's Batman. And he's watching me tank right now. This is fucking horrible.
Don't look at me, Batman.
So here's the thing. So we feel like we have an idea of the culprit, but I don't know that we do. And I want to pass the ball back to you, Ace, because I want to get your take on
Yeah,
it.
let's hear what it started
It is
like
so
with you.
funny to hear your take of it because it was something completely different happening out front.
Okay.
You know, so during the day we had sound checks and everything was sounding really good. With the playbacks, like you said, they were backup, but the situation we were in, it was a small stage with a lot of stuff on it and a lot of open mics. You know, we had the string section, there's 4 mics. We had the horn section, there's 4 mics. We have this big grand piano in the middle that is being mic'd by 2 big 414s under that, open and picking stuff up in it. And then we have these 10 choir people who are singing in front of 4 microphones, and they're standing relatively far from them. But it was just kind of, it was the way it was. It was the nature of the show, and we just had to go with it.
Did you include the singer's mic on that one?
No, that's right. And there's a principal talent, and there were sometimes during the show there were up to 3 of them. I can't remember on that song how many there were.
Principal talents, yeah.
So there's all these open mics, all this kind of stuff. So
Like you said, the overheads. I mean, just everything. Yeah.
So putting the mix together where it starts with the piano and this choir, having a little bit on the using from the tape was helped give it, because that had to be really loud for that sort of thing, right? It had to be good. So right away I just noticed something was different, but the tuning thing I don't think was coming across as much to me as it was just there was something wasn't happening.
Timing-wise,
right?
yeah.
Like stuff was off. But again, like you were saying, when stuff goes wrong, you've got these 2 conversations that are going on in your head. One's trying to follow the song and keep up,
Catch up,
and the
yeah.
other one is trying to pull out a little wider and go, what's wrong here? How do I fix this? What's my next plan? And that was kind of it didn't seem necessarily that anybody in particular was doing something. It wasn't. It was just that not everybody was on the same page, kind of thing. And I noticed, of course, because the singers, it wasn't as easy for me to get that up in the beginning as they're singing, and I'm going, something's changed.
Oh, because you didn't have the background playback track.
That's
to
right.
give it that little boost.
That little bit of
that
fullness,
filler.
because
Got it.
you
Right,
needed
right.
that intro to be
Right.
really kind of
like you
out
said,
there.
boisterous.
Right.
Yeah.
So then, when that all came apart and we started up again and without the tracks, then it was like, we had, 10 channels of tracks. I don't know if we used them all on that particular song or not, but some amount that was kind of in there filling. And remember also, this is a nice dinner. So the volume to begin with, where the mix is, you're not going at concert level. You're keeping it low. So if you've got a low volume already and now you've just taken away half of the stuff that was there, it was a little bit of scrambling,
Yeah.
trying to figure out
The balance.
what's going on here. That's right. So that was, I didn't necessarily, I think because the tracks weren't playing the second one, I assumed that there had been a problem with the tracks.
Yeah.
Even though for 3 days we hadn't had any issues with them in rehearsals, but as it happens, it started up on the first song, and that's kind of where I thought the problems were at. And I just kept looking at you guys going, man, these guys are just plowing through.
Yeah.
This is where, so you get to really see the grit of a musician, you know?
Right? So when in doubt, lay out. However, now you have 30 some odd musicians on stage making noise.
Literally. Okay, well, no, let's
You
do the math.
can't when in doubt, lay out, right? Because then, yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say it's at least 13 musicians, players, because we have the 8 orchestra. We have another 7 in the band.
rhythm section.
Yeah, and then you had the
10
choir.
choir,
Yeah,
yeah.
and then let's not forget the conductor, because
the
even though he's not
conductor.
a, he's,
That's right.
but he's
No.
there, and he's a very important part of the
So
stage.
you can't, so what I did though was I did kind of panic, and I was like, all right, just stop. And that goes back to the when in doubt layout thing. But I feel like what I could have done is the show must go on. If you fuck up, don't let on that you fucked up.
Yeah.
Just smile and work your way through it. So what I could have done, and here's where I'm kicking myself, and maybe dare I say should have done, is I should have told Joel, our drummer and playback engineer, stop the tracks, but the band keep playing.
Yeah.
That is
And
such a hard
that's where
decision
I'm
to make in a
kicking
split
myself,
second. Yeah.
Because I did this, I did the grab, the full stop on everybody versus Joel, stop playback.
In hindsight, I see what you're saying. However, how long did we actually play before you stopped? Like
It
maybe
was-
30 seconds?
It was seconds, but it felt like
Maybe-
forever.
It felt like maybe it was
My whole
12
life,
bars.
yes.
Yeah, maybe it was 12
Okay,
bars,
so
16 maybe.
the reason I think the way you did it worked out is because it was such a cacophony at this point, and
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
everybody to the string section were stopping, and like you can't have. If you would have just said we're going to stop the tracks, how do you know that everybody else is going to continue? And you kind of crescendoed it. She hit the high note and you stopped it, and it almost seemed intentional. So I think it worked out the way. I think I'm good. I'm almost done.
Yeah.
But I think it worked out
You are my true guitar tech. 'Cause
Show
you know
him
how
some
to make me
love.
feel good.
in that way. No, but I'm saying in that way, I think it worked out
I think I can
for
sleep
that
better
time.
tonight,
Yeah.
Because maybe you stop the tracks and everybody doesn't keep going.
Right. Well, and it wasn't just the tuning that was out of place or just the timing. It was the combination of. And so, yeah, how do you recoup your
Regroup,
time?
yeah,
Like
or
how do you
regroup,
get
yeah.
back in session where, like you're saying, like from the first notes that you played, even you're like, this isn't right, and you're looking around and everybody's like, they're all adjusting, like a beautiful team.
Yeah.
Everybody's shifted over. Like if you know baseball terms, it's like, oh, when a righty comes on versus a lefty, it's like, oh, the field just shifts a
shift.
certain way, right?
Yeah.
And you guys did that. It was beautiful. Now, from my standpoint, I was over by monitors. I'm running the show. I got the headset on.
Well, you
we
have
just
house
started.
comms. You have video
Yeah.
and house comms.
Yeah.
Plus
I have
you have
talkback
You
for
have
you.
a talkback for me,
Yeah.
and you have my ears.
Yeah.
You have my voice.
Yeah, well, actually, your ears were in the monitor's ears, but I mean, it was a fun cacophony, as you said.
Oh, it was so bad.
And you started, and like, so now it's like, okay, we got. There's everybody's up because first of all, getting all of the people on stage, that's my job, right? So I had to get the orchestra on stage, I had to get the choir on stage, I had to get the singer on stage, I had to get them on in order to where it makes sense that they're not just all bumping around like a bunch of
And then you have to do the choreo.
right,
for
the
all
microphones here or
artists.
handing off or whatever it is, right? So there's a lot of moving parts, and I feel like okay, we just started off the game. We're hitting on base. Like everything's great. I go over behind JT, who's our monitor engineer, and everything's going. And I'm listening to what they're saying. And then all of a sudden, I notice something's wrong. And I look up and I see the pain on your face, and the pain on his face is, oh fuck.
But sometimes you have to stop
Yeah.
it. You have to just
Yeah.
say
That's what I
stop and start
thought.
over.
Okay, so
I
I'm
will
glad that you guys
No.
are affirming that for me.
I've seen Guns N' Roses do it. Songs
Okay.
going for like
Okay.
20
Well, they don't do
seconds
it
and
like
then-
that.
Yeah, I've
I
seen it.
will
Like,
say though, like I am glad that we stopped because the singer was checking her. She thought something was wrong with her ears.
Right.
And I actually don't know if she spoke English. I know when
She did, but yeah.
When the stop happened, you were like, "Tell her to say something." And I tried to get her attention, but she was like, "I
She
don't
didn't
know what's
what was
going on. I don't even know if she understood me." And
Yeah.
and I know that she was so excited to open the show. It was
know.
like a really big deal. So for her to hear something and start singing and it be wrong would be just awful.
Awful,
Yeah.
I know.
Devastating.
So I'm glad that we stopped it and started over so she could get the right key in her ears and sing it correctly.
It's obviously probably the last thing you want to do, but in that case, you had to.
In that specific case,
I should. Go ahead.
And I was going to say, and audiences will give you that one too. You know, if you start,
They'll give you
and then
one.
You stop. They, especially something like this. This was filled with a lot of musicians, a lot of people in the arts, making
Moving
movies and
parts,
things.
yeah.
So they get it. Technology sometimes doesn't work like it's like we want it to. So I think you did absolutely the right thing, because trying to muddle through another 2.5 minutes of everybody trying to figure out what to go.
Because then now you're playing catch up, right?
Yeah.
So then if I kept the performance going and I stopped the tracks, by then we would have been in, let's say, the second stanza. So let's say verse 2, if you will, but it's not a pop song,
Halfway
but-
over.
Yeah. You're already a quarter of the way through now. You stop the tracks, and everybody's trying to play catch up. Because, like you said, Andy, at one point you saw, you didn't see it. I think they were talking to you about it. The woodwinds and brass were checking their horns.
Everybody.
The strings were leaning over and checking their tuning. You know, aside from the rhythm section.
Yeah.
So what was it with the tuning thing?
Okay.
Well,
so-
actually, that's a great question.
I
We
have a
should here
theory.
pan over to me real fast. We should take a little pause break and see what Joel, our playback guy, has to say about all this. Go ahead, tune in. What is your take?
Oh, man. So try not to get too technical, keep it relevant for the show. But we got on chains with Ableton certified trainers after the show to figure out what happened, what went wrong. And basically, I upgraded to a new computer right before the show. Like a week before the show, we got a new M series Mac. And they have a feature / bug / functionality to be aware of where anything can change the core sample rate for the computer. So basically, the sample rate is telling the systems how fast to play back all the data. So you have a couple things. You have your DAW sample rate, and then it goes to your computer's core audio sample rate, and then it goes to your playback device's sample rate. So they all need to be in a line together. And the M series chips, anything can mess with that middle one, the core sample rate on the computer. So we had an artist, and I think we'll get into it here, but that gave us a file last second. And when we uploaded it on stage at the performance, it opened in iTunes and Ableton. And Ableton can resample everything really well, but I think the iTunes must have changed the sample rate there. So basically, when we went to go start the show and we hit play, it all collapsed because all 3 sample rates weren't running the same. So basically, from a playback text perspective, with the new M series computers, you just have to make sure everything's closed except your Ableton session. Just make sure everything else is shut down, and then hopefully that won't ever happen again. But in the moment, it was a nightmare because we had no idea what was going on. And yeah, anyway, back to y'all.
Discussed how things went awry on this show, but we have not divulged as to what we think perhaps might have been the culprit.
What are you talking about? We only got through the opening. This wild ride is just
No, but
starting.
We talked about the show. We talked about what happened in the show. Here's what I think the culprit was. There was one particular artist who initially their label reps said, because I was communicating with their label reps via email throughout the pre-production advancing.
Okay, let's
And
just,
they
the
said-
pain of advancing. Let's just take a quick break here. The pain of advancing. Yeah, I am, because let's just start there. That is, it's pains. It's like pulling teeth. And I don't know why it is, but we created a beautiful artist talent letter that, gave them an introduction into who we are, what we do. Here's a file for you to upload all of your assets that you want a part of your
Google
show.
Drive, yeah,
like
yeah,
if you
yeah.
have a logo you want, or if you have video, or
Wave files,
if you have
that's important.
stems,
Playback stems,
your
BGVs, perk track,
your
click
assets.
track.
The things.
As M,
Your asses.
yes, that's what M always says. Yeah.
Give us your asses.
Your asses.
But we painstakingly tried to make it streamlined and easy for the artist or their management or whatever. Like, here's our stuff. Not a lot of going back and forth. Don't clog our inbox. We don't want to clog yours. Here's the system, right? And we sent that out, 3 weeks at least before? And actually, I think it was a month before. And then we gave a 2-week deadline. So we gave them time. We gave them space.
Then we give them like a week grace period. Yeah.
And nothing. Like nothing.
Crickets.
Nothing. So we're chasing down these artists and we're like, hey, okay, cool. Like, you want to help us out with your performance? And this one artist in particular, like he's saying,
So day of.
no, hold on, leading up to it, they're like, we don't need anything.
Yes.
We don't
Leading
need
up to
anything
it,
for this
their-
artist.
all their representation, there was about 4 or 5 people from their team copied on each email. And the lead person said, no, this artist does not require anything from you.
They're fully
And
self-contained.
I said, oh, well, I really loved the piece they played. I watched the film that they performed on. Guitar is my primary instrument. I am the music director. I would love to back so-and-so up. I am available to do that if you'd like. We also have 2 guitar players on the team, blah, blah, blah. No, we won't require that. All we need is a guitar amp. And then I promptly said, what type of guitar amp? Do you have a particular request?
Which I thought was way overkill. I was like, really, Nomad? You're going to ask him what brand of... And I know.
As a production manager, he's going to say, hi, I just need a guitar amp. He's going to say, what kind? And then he's going to order 2 of them. Because he's going to get me the main one and the backup one.
Right.
Okay, so they came back and said, we don't care, no preference.
Nada.
I said, great. So we got the amp, we got everything ready. The artist comes in.
He came in a half an hour early, too. So I'm like, this is great.
On time, comes up on stage, has his cool guitar, does the thing, plugs in, blah, blah, blah. All of a sudden, his rep was there and says, oh, we have this playback track.
Here's his track. And we're like,
I'm like,
what?
wait.
What?
The show is in an hour.
Yeah, probably in about 2 hours.
Thank God it wasn't on a CD.
yeah.
Can you imagine?
So we're like,
Got a mixtape,
oh,
you know?
we weren't aware that he was doing a playback. Oh, yeah, no, he is. Okay, so I talked to my playback engineer, Joel, the drummer, and Joel says, I said, Joel, can we, yep, we'll get it, blah, 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 blah. We're using Ableton Live. That's what we use to playback. And I said, Joel, let's pop it in. This is standard protocol. We know what we're doing. We do this all the time.
Not a problem.
We put it in the computer. It plays back. We hear it. Okay, good. The artist starts sound checking with it. Great.
Quite the
Then-
bit. He did multiple passes. of
He
it.
did probably 4 or 5
Yeah.
passes.
So
And
it was
then-
good.
So this is day up, by the way. This is not any of the sound
Day
check.
up.
This is not
2.5
pre-production.
hours before downbeat of the
Right. This
show.
is sound check, and each artist has 30 minutes to sound
Yes.
check. Now, he showed up 30 minutes early, so he's getting extra time,
He had a nice runway.
which is fine. I don't have a problem. We're ahead of schedule, but he's taken a lot.
But then the rep comes up
Dun, dun, dun. Just kidding.
and
Not really.
says,
Oh, where's the video?
and we're like,
What? Well, it needs to be synced. I want to see the video that they're playing to his performance.
now hold on. Everybody
Yes.
listening into this episode is going to be like, oh, that's easy, Nomad. Just Ableton Live runs video too. Yes, it does. But not unless you prepare for it. And by the way,
Not on the fly.
We call it. Anytime you do production, you have Video World. Well, Video World is all the way up in the crow's nest at the top of the venue. How many yards away?
tippy top.
400 yards away from the stage. The only
3
way
flights.
you communicate with them is through the comms, which she has. But guess what? The audio playback of Ableton and the video master playback of Video World, they're not synced.
No.
No, they're not, because they're in 2 different
requested
places.
That, and nobody said.
There's a lot of layers. Now, a lot of the times the video package and the audio does come from the same eye in the sky. That is normally how it is done. But in this particular case, we took over the audio for the show with our front of house, with our ace and our monitor guys. Because
With
in
our
that,
ace.
With our ace.
Everybody should have an
our
ace.
ace up our sleeve. So that and the reason why we did that is because one big elephant that we've completely left out of this conversation. Not only are we doing a live performance with multiple artists and have that live show factor, but we also now are adding in the factor of live streaming. So the reason why the separation of church and state, if you will, was because we have a truck out
you.
back that's having another audio
Thank
feed.
you for that little variable
So,
reminder.
and that's, oh God, that's a nightmare.
Okay, pass it back to Ace.
I just wanted to say too,
please.
if I've got this correct, it wasn't just a matter of the audio playback and the video being aligned. What he wanted was to sing the song live and have that hooked up with the video so that the words he was singing were matching
Which
and
is
things.
so hard.
And which he would it would have needed to be worked out so that there was a click track that
In
was
the playback.
firing
There needs
Yeah,
to be
there.
together.
In pre-production,
Yeah.
there needs to be a SMPTE click
I say
track.
now you're dealing with
that's
SMPTE time.
And get into
SMPTE
the
with
air.
the film. film.
That's
Yes.
right.
And then you build a tempo track
Yep.
around that,
Yep.
which is that changes the meter because film doesn't have any particular beat, right?
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
So it was a lot more than even just getting video that had audio playback on it. It was how are we going to sync this? And again, we're at the moment now where everything is in the room. The tables, the salads are coming out on the tables. It's like we're going.
Yeah.
This is a show.
No, they already pressed like
Yeah.
the big red button.
like people are lining up outside kind of thing. And like we're saying, it's totally doable. You can absolutely do what you're asking. You just can't do it in 10 minutes.
No.
And then the other issue was, so now we're trying to okay, whatever. We're trying to
still trying to
troubleshoot
deduce what happened.
and
Yeah,
give them,
yeah.
because here's the deal. They are high-end executive labels. They don't like the word no. I don't like to say the word no. I want to please, and I want a white glove service.
And you and I were both at downstage talking to them,
Trying to make it work.
very diplomatically, very
Yeah.
kid glove.
Yeah.
You know,
Because
like,
I'll be honest, we could have been like, sorry, fuck no, you didn't pay attention. Didn't you get the email? Like, we could have been dicks.
month ago.
What about when we're talking to the reps and then the house started playing some other shit? I grabbed the mic. I was like, everybody listen to me now.
Oh my God.
We can only troubleshoot one problem at a time. And like everybody was under, exactly, right.
No, it was
because they were playing different tracks from other video packages that weren't part of that moment. And I was like, guys, we can only do one thing at a time. Everybody fucking focus.
Right.
You know?
Maybe something though, just to say here is that as much as we were telling this particular part of the story, like there was chaos. That wasn't, it seemed more just like issues that needed to be worked out. They couldn't be the way they wanted because they hadn't followed directions, but nobody was fuming. Nobody was like saying
right.
No,
it was all at this point still seeming
very
like we just got to work this out.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
So Nomad and I are trying to troubleshoot. We're like, all right, well, the playback, not a problem. We can just give that to Joel and Joel will control it. But they're like, we don't want him on stage. We only want the one artist on stage. We don't want to see somebody walk on and off stage. So can somebody else start the playback? And the answer is no. The playback is on stage with our drummer. That's the playback because that's where we're controlling it
The
from.
drum riser was butted up against the curtain.
Right, so we can make it work where
it's
it's not going to be
press play.
some guy walking in the back of the thing. Like
Yeah.
we know how to disappear, right? But they were very adamant. No, we don't want that. And I was like, well, we got past that point. We're like, that's what it's going to be because that's what it has to be. Now let's talk about the video because the video is going to come not from our playback because it's not tied into our playback. It's just a video that's not edited. So they have to play that from the video package up there. So now we have to coordinate 3, 2, 1, play at the same time.
imagine?
Forget trying to sync it.
So like you said,
Yeah.
eye in the sky,
Yeah.
streaming,
monitors,
front of
band,
house,
everybody.
playback tech. Everybody's like, okay, you ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Go.
What the fork and
So the agita, okay? Now it's about 1:45. He's got 30 minutes before the next act comes in because we like to buffer it a little bit by 15 minutes. But if we have to go, back to back, we'll do it. So he's got about 30 minutes left and we have 30 minutes to figure this out, right? Because
Less, I would say.
they want it, right? Yeah, really 15 minutes. So we pitch hit, we figure it out, we roll through it. Okay, great. He's happy, he leaves, right? We roll on into the next
To the next artist.
and they do their set, which they also had some last minute things because their singer had to drop
right.
out last minute. So then, and that's not a big issue. I mean, the microphone is the microphone.
Well, that's where Ace had to have 3 primary vocalists.
But that's what I'm saying because last minute they added an extra singer. But that's fine, not a problem. We have enough microphones, we can make it happen. So we do it all on the fly. I know you're so stressed out. I love it. I hope everybody at home is like also on the edge of your seat.
Oh my God, what the hell?
I'm telling you, it was a gig, you guys. She's like, I don't miss. I'm okay. I wasn't on it.
So, but moving on, we feel like the culprit may have been when we took the file from that artist to put it into our playback system last minute on the fly. We feel like that sample bit rate of that particular playback file was different from our entire show sample bit rate.
Which then
Now,
shifted.
you know,
All right.
if you're talking about 48 kilohertz versus 44.1, if you play them, there's going to be a glitch. There's going to be a time inference. And that's,
We didn't play tracks.
no,
with
we
her.
didn't use tracks on her.
That's
No,
fine.
we did. No,
actually,
we
use
did.
tracks
We
on
had to
her.
turn it.
We didn't use tracks on the other one.
So the last, so
The Spike Lee joint.
the one
That was the first
the
artist that
came.
that was the first one that sound checked.
Okay, I'm just trying to make this make sense in my head.
Yeah.
The artist that came in that gave the file
Was the second.
and then the last one did use tracks and they went
Yeah.
fine.
And they went fine. And that's why we think what we thought was the culprit, that actually shoots holes in that theory.
Because if
Might
it
not
was,
have
we
been
would have
the
noticed on that
We would have
last
noticed
one.
it
Right,
on
it would have
that- on
shifted
that.
it then.
Because there is a chance that file comes into Ableton
Yep.
and it's 44.1K. I'm Pro Tools. I've never really
It
messed
doesn't
too much.
matter. It's all the same. No matter
However,
which DAW.
when you pull in a file, it will prompt you.
It should transcode it for you
Yes.
automatically.
Yes, but it could also say, I don't know if
Yes,
this is the
you're
case.
right.
Do you want to conform to this new file?
Yes. Ding,
Or
ding,
do you want to
ding, ding.
conform the file to the session?
Okay.
That's where I'm confused. I wasn't involved. If I would have seen that, then I would know what actually happened.
So Ableton, the way it works is you have your session sample rate, and when you put new audio in, it will automatically resample that. So anything in theory, you can throw anything in, and it's going to function fine. But then the issue came in. Yes, some things played well, like it played well during that. Something else played well after that. So after talking with the Ableton certified trainers, it's not 100% sure. There's no way to know exactly. But basically, the issue comes from the M series new feature functionality where it allows anything to change the sample rate. So that new audio file, at some point between the end of the dress rehearsal and start of the show, the iTunes was open. Maybe someone hit play or stop because I know I was out for a minute and they had to hit play on a couple things. So at any point, it could have been played off of iTunes and changed the max core audio sample rate. And then when I go to start it from Ableton, that middle section of the sample rate chain was collapsed. So, yeah.
the situation
Artist.
blasting
The
was at,
situation.
3:30.
The situation.
And then we had another artist that was using tracks at 4.
So the artist at 4 that was using tracks was the opening
Yes.
act that
Yes.
messed up.
That's
Okay,
the one that messed up.
So
yeah.
and I hear you. Like if that artist number 3
Redacted.
came in with the tracks last minute, and that's what screwed up our system was because it was so slapdash. It was last minute, and we didn't get to QC it like we normally would. Right?
Okay. I want the professional opinion of a production manager front of house. We're all professionals, but you deal solely, I mean, you're also a musician.
Right.
But you, in this capacity, you're dealing solely with tech.
Right.
What is your tech expert opinion?
Well, my opinion would be that having somebody walk in with some USB key 2 hours or an hour before
Wasn't even-
doors.
it was an airdrop from phone to phone.
Ooh.
This is why
Yeah.
you don't do that
Don't-
kind of
you
stuff.
Can't do that, right?
Because we don't know that it was his thing that did it, but
don't
we
know.
would know if he had sent that in ahead of time.
So
We would have been able to rule
Eliminate
that out.
yeah.
could have
Right.
Eliminate it.
Right. It's still a factor.
Because it
Possible.
could have been corrupt, the file.
It could have. It
But
could have
wouldn't-
done some sort of thing to change it. But if we had it the 3 days before when we were rehearsing for 12 hours,
Yeah.
we would have found that. Or the next day when we did the line check over
production.
there.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Or the,
Or
next
the day
when it
of.
was- well,
Yeah.
we had all those sound checks. But basically, he gave it to it enough time that we ran one other act real quick. Again, the sound checks were not long. Even
Half hour.
the one we did afterwards, we played the song 2 times, I think.
Yeah.
So whatever that's is probably a great lesson for players as well as techs on this one. That you got to make sure anything you plan on doing with your show has been advanced properly, and that you've turned in all those kind of files. Because not only do you risk screwing up your show, but screwing up everybody's performance
set.
that
Yeah.
evening if that's what was the problem. There was a lot of stuff going on at that last moment.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't like you went back to the hot tub in the dressing room. Or
Had some
you were
drinks.
running around. You had to get dressed. You guys they wanted to film you guys coming in on the red carpet. You're
Yeah.
trying to keep
You're
the
right.
band together,
You're
go
right.
over any last notes.
Yeah.
So QCing a track because somebody didn't feel like turning it in 3 weeks ago when they were supposed to doesn't really fall under your responsibilities, I don't think.
However, that stuff is going to happen in this industry. So
Yeah, but I'm guessing that if you
But-
showed up at the Grammys,
yeah, no, that's not going to be
instead
the
I
case.
want to
yeah.
airdrop
Yeah,
you
but-
this new
Totally,
track.
yeah.
They're not going to allow it. The
No
answer is going to
way.
be
You would have been dropped. You
So
would
I
have
have
been dropped.
I have a few questions. So
Yeah.
when we played the first song, clearly the tracks were in a different key. That's what was going on.
That's what
Right.
was going on. So
And they were
which
fast. They were timed
Well,
out.
that's what tells me
That's
the
why.
sample rate was off.
Yes,
Not the bit rate.
that's what I'm asking. It was a
sample
faster
rate.
tempo, and so it made the pitch go up.
Yes.
The second meltdown was the tracks failed completely, correct? And we had to jump on stage.
Performance.
Well, no, we didn't even
And
get
we
there.
had to-
No. Yeah, we didn't get there yet. Okay.
Well, that's what I'm questioning, because after that, what happened? The tracks were
You're right.
settled after that? Because we used
No,
tracks
the track-
after that,
but
right?
The track stopped
Possibly.
Oh, is that
instead of 48.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But you're
'Cause
right.
the song
People
was in
shouldn't be just
D.
dropping in at the last
The song
second.
was in D, but I feel like the
But-
playback tracks were in E flat.
Something. It was sharp or something.
A half step.
So my main question is, after that, we were using playback tracks again, right? After the second act
Yes.
failed, and it was fine.
Yes.
So what happened in that meantime? Joel, I remember Joel
Well,
jumped on
maybe
his
Joel-
computer.
I don't
Okay, I'm just gonna hang out down here for a bit because this is my spot here.
know if Joel.
Yeah.
I don't know if he. No, he can't reboot the computer in the middle of the show. We wouldn't have time.
Did we
He
use
did.
the tracks on those?
We
last few
continued
songs?
to. Yeah.
Yeah, because Joel jumped in last. I remember he was like, "I have to figure this out." You guys were backstage behind the curtains with his computer.
Yes.
What were you doing in that moment?
We were trying to figure out sample bit rate, and
Yeah.
we were trying to figure out start and stops for each song.
Yeah.
Because everybody knows who's listening to the Career Musician podcast. You know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You run your DAW. You can program start and stops. You can program everything. I mean, you could program patch changes on your guitar rig,
Yeah.
your keyboard rig.
Through
you
MIDI,
can
yeah.
program light changes. You know,
Everything is fixable and
Everything is
totally.
programmable
Yes.
as long as you have time to do it ahead of time. Because you're right. Show up to the Grammys, the Oscars, the Emmys, and here's my.
Yeah, they're like, "You're
Show
not
up to
winning
the
tonight,
whiskey.
kid."
Show up to the
Yeah.
the rainbow room, and
yeah,
that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not winning an award tonight, kid.
Yeah. So okay, now getting us back on track. So now we've told you what the rehearsals and pre-production and the sound checks looked like. We got through the opening of the show. The second artist is the artist that brought in this mystery track, who wanted to play just by himself with his own tracks with this video. Okay, so he's the second artist on deck for this show. Okay, so band, orchestra, everybody leave stage. Let it just be him, because that's what he wants, right? Our playback guy, Joel, I'm sure you're going to tune in just a minute to let us know what you think.
Can't wait to get Joel's take on it.
Yeah.
He's back there. He's ready to go. So he's in position. He's got his, ready to do the pink.
Yeah.
And then
Finger drop.
so and again, everything is running, like the show is happening. Everybody's
Joel,
in
man.
place. Okay, we got him right here. We walked him out, and it's for me, my job is to say, okay, you're going to go out in the dark. You're going to be ready at the microphone. They're going to announce your name with the voiceover. Now presenting, blah blah blah, and then the lights
Move
are.
on to the next artist?
No, I haven't got
Okay,
there yet.
okay.
But my job in general is to get them on stage and let them know what the hell's happening, So my answer to him is, all right, there's going to be your voiceover, and then as soon as the lights come on, it's up to you. That's going to be our cue. As soon as the lights go on, we're going to go bink, and we're going to start your track, okay? And the video. That's everybody's cue, all right? So, and I'm not even telling you internally about what's happening, because that's a whole other nightmare. But the idea is we're coordinating me, eye in the sky, and one other person in the truck to get, and Joel, to make this all happen at once, okay? So the stars need to be aligned.
And they're just not.
And well, they were. Here's the thing.
weren't.
Everybody was in place, and everybody was ready. Everybody was ready.
We were hella prepared.
Beyond. We overthought every
We had
angle.
3 days. We had 72 hours of preparation. Yeah.
More preparation than we've ever had. And even with these last minute curveballs, we were prepared, okay? So Joel's back there, and he goes, bink. And this is where Joel cuts in.
All right, good setup.
But really, after as we're watching it, I watch him. Nomad's off to the side of the stage, and the track starts playing. Nomad, take it away. What happens? Do you remember?
No.
It starts playing. Okay, come back to me. we all shrunk a little bit. Nomad. Blackout, rage, blackout.
Nomad, wake up!
So this guy, he's on his own. He just wanted to do the vocals, just do the guitars by himself. So the track starts, right? And all of a sudden it starts like, imagine like kind of like No Diggity. You're like, no, no, no. It's like, it's very like bluesy, and it's like good, and it's going, and then it's boom, boom, boom.
And that's it.
Just quiet.
Track stopped. And everything stopped. Before that even starts.
again,
No,
too?
wait. Before it even starts.
He blanked it out.
Before it even starts, check this one out. I'll lean in, because Nomad, this is where you had to run down to the front of the stage.
But also, it didn't just stop. It had it had this big bass intro at the top. and that part, and then we hit stop. So it was like, it was bad. It didn't just cut out from under you. You saw the train wreck happening. You heard it happening as it went. Ugh.
I was like all the way backstage, and I'm running, and he forgot to turn his tuner off.
So he
The
was.
guitar was muted.
Are you in the microphone, Nomad?
God, yes, why I yelled.
So,
I didn't even know about this.
No, I didn't know.
well, the band left. We should get like a reaction of you
Yeah.
on all of this.
Pero mucho mierda.
Now, remember, the band has been dismissed, okay? There is nobody on stage but this guy, okay, by himself, okay?
That's right.
And the spotlight is on him. So Nomad runs down the stage because there's no sound coming out of his guitar at all. So Nomad fixes that for him.
Push the tuner.
You went on stage?
Yes. I went
Front of stage.
Center stage. So I push the tuner.
I didn't know
I run
this.
back, and then I'm yelling, "We're band."
Well, hold on. You whisper in his ear, "You got this, bro. You got this."
Yes, I did.
So then we go back and now we start the track, and that's when it goes nothing. So like he's getting in the groove, and then it stops. And then he looks over, he looks me dead in my eyes, and I'm
geez.
like, and I'm looking at Joel, and I was like, Joel, and so now I'm on the headset, I was like, I don't know what's going on. Hold on, we're gonna start the track again. And now we're like, panic.
So we don't know why the track stopped on him?
We
don't know why.
have
Okay.
Okay,
no idea.
but so then at that
They stopped because I stopped them because they kept doing that, like the sample rate, it was crashing out the playback. So I had to stop them because again, like the BPM, by the time it was going, it was dropped, like the pitch had shifted down like 4 steps, and the BPM had dropped like 10, and it was just like a whole thing going downhill. So I had to stop them. But yeah, when it's just the singer and tracks, it's bad.
point, so then
But I have an idea,
So
actually.
then I get up, and then I'm like, okay. So I'm like, guys, it's a minor blues in D. So
Hold on, wait. No,
There's
you
more
are
to
jumping.
it.
You are jumping.
There's more to it.
Slow it
I
down.
even dropped tuning my guitar. I
You
went to
really
drop
did
everything.
black out. You totally blacked out because
guess I did.
Yeah, you did.
Dang.
Dude, okay, so
Wow.
like I said, we dismissed everybody. Nomad is on the sides of the stage because he wanted to make sure, like a good leader, you wanted to make sure it got off without a hitch. Joel is on stage. The track is not tracking. It's not tracking. We can't get it to go. So Nomad to JT, who's the person, the monitors
The monitor
person
engineer,
sitting
yeah.
next to
Who
me.
was amazing.
He's
Amazing.
fantastic. I wish he was here
Love
right now.
JT.
He'd be like, oh,
Love you,
dude.
JT.
So he looks at me and he goes, get the band. And I was like, is that what Nomad said? And he's like, get the band. And I run. And I'm in heels, by the way. I'm in like nice heels. I'm in a nice dress. And there's at least 8 stairs. And I literally, I grabbed the rails and I Supermaned it. I'm like, boom, boom, landed like USA. And then I'm running. And I swear to God, I'm sure, like by the time I pass the opening where like the awards are to like see the side of the stage, I hear Joel on the drums. Boom, 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 pff, boom. And I hear Nomad playing. And I was like, okay, music has started. Because I see Andy, and Andy's all the way down the alley having a cigarette because that's what we're on break for like 40 minutes. We got at least 40 minutes till our next act.
It was a large gap.
Yeah.
Between,
They were released. There was nothing wrong. Thank God you weren't in the shitter. Like, I swear to God. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I yell, Andy, get your ass on stage right now.
It was so funny because I'm like, how long do we got? You're like, we got about, I remember you were like, we got like 45 minutes, an hour, go do your thing. I was like, okay. And I'm like, that was, the first song really didn't go great, but we pulled it off. Okay, cool. And I go outside and I'm just, all right, I'll have a cigarette. I get about
Downloading. 3
drags in, and all of a sudden I just hear the door literally burst open. Your headset's like hanging off your head. You're like, Andy, get on stage now. The tracks went down. And I was like, oh, I just started running. And then,
Yeah. So then guess what? The whole band arrives on stage, and guess what? Starts building this track that we don't know because you didn't want us to learn it.
Here's what I did. I said, gang, minor blues in D. All right, 1 chord, D, cool. 4 chord, G.
and that's really all it was.
And then I just go back, okay, back to the 1. And because I'm just listening to him, I'm watching him, and I previewed the track. I knew it was coming. All right, back to 1. Okay, stop. Let him take the credenza. Okay, you ready? Now big hit at the end on 1. Bam. So I just talked everybody through it.
yeah.
And
Here's the
now
best part.
the artist really started to get into it. He started calling shots and like looking
Yep.
back and like playing with
Vibing
the
with
audience.
us.
He's like, let me hear you. Yeah. Like, I mean, like,
got into it.
It turned
Yeah.
out to be
The best performance.
really good
And
performance.
wait,
Yeah.
He was
got off
incredible.
stage. Oh, he's killing.
Like,
he
no,
was-
I know, like the track thing, but like that dude was a professional.
Effing
He was
Oh, he sounded
amazing, and it was
amazing.
the
Yeah.
best
He's a
performance of the
pro. I
night.
just wish his artist reps.
Yeah,
would
it's not on him.
I wish we could have
for
done
sure.
it right from the get go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because you
Because-
know, had you guys started and he walked out, it would have been so
'cause when we
swampy
got
and
off
dirty.
stage-
Oh, it would have been so good.
When we got
Yeah.
off stage, his artist rep told me, the same person who was requesting all the other stuff earlier told me, oh my God, that was amazing. That's the
Best
best thing
thing.
that could have happened.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yes.
honestly.
And that's
Goes
great.
to show you, always use the house band.
And Nomad.
That's
Nomad.
right. That's right.
But what did you say to us in that last email? You said we're only playing 3 songs, but learn all 5.
That's exactly.
And I
true,
learned that
that's
riff,
true.
and when I got on stage and down tuned, I started, I just started
Yeah,
dragging that
that's
riff
it.
out,
Yep.
man.
Em knows about that because I
Oh,
made
yeah.
you learn like 4 or 5 different piano parts.
The organ part and the piano part. So like all the parts, just in case.
Now,
Yeah.
not just did you guys learn the parts, but our boy
You
Ace
did.
here. No, I learned every part. I was ready for backup. Ace took a very big beating in the rehearsals to learn the song. Now, Ace, please tell your side of the story. You don't remember there was one part in the song, one word.
I understand what you're talking about, right? The artist, like you said, he did come in a little bit early, and so I think, possibly thought, great, now I can pay attention to the little parts.
Which in theory is great.
Which is great. He had one word that he wanted a lot of reverb on, but I don't
One
know.
word.
Sometimes. In the right light, people think I look very young for my age. And I think I must have looked like I was about 22 to him. Like I had never put reverb on anything ever before. And we ran it 4 times. We ran this one part. And it wasn't like we ran it and he said, okay, let me take it from the back of the chorus and we'll go to where it is. He started the song completely over every time to do the 4. So it was it was it was a bit weird, to be honest. That whole exchange with him, with not being prepared, not giving it in, then wanting to do stuff that just like a pro wouldn't really sit there and have a sound guy rehearse a song 4 times to get reverb on a word of a blues
I mean,
song.
you've thrown reverb tails before.
That's basically what it is.
We get through that nightmare, but we save it and we're like, okay, phew, we did it. Now, next is I would say our biggest artist, our biggest act, our most prominent act is coming up next, okay? And normally it's the eye in the sky who's the director, if you will. He's cueing the video packages and the presenters and the, now presenting, like the voiceover and all that stuff. Now, normally it's just me and him and we're chatting and we have a good rhythm, we have a good cadence, the flow happens and it works. Now, of course, there's still hiccups, but we get through it. So we're chatting, we're yelling, get this off the screen, get that on the screen, put this up, where's the, okay, so all this stuff is happening. And it is incredibly chaotic. And it is not the way that I think it should be done in the future, for sure. No. But it was happening. It was happening. And this was the first time that it was happening like this. And so I don't want to just, again, throw all the eggs in one basket or place all the blame everywhere. But there were a lot of areas in which glitches and things could happen, right? For example, I tell my artist, okay, you're going to go out in the dark. You're going to get seated on stage. Because the worst thing is to walk up to the mic as a singer. Even though it's only a few steps, you get winded somehow, some way. And then now you have to sing. And I wasn't in place for a few seconds to find my center. That matters, especially to women singers too. Maybe not to rock singers. Maybe it's not so much baby, I'm black. Maybe it's not the same, but for ladies, we want to have a moment, So I gave it away. This artist is a lady. And so I get her out there. And I'm like, this is the deal. It's going to be dark. You're going to get seated. She has a singer. She has 2 singers. And didn't we also had our conductor. We had a orchestra. So again, orchestra's on stage, full band's on stage. She's coming in with 2 artists. It's a big to do again. And I'm like, here's where the connection comes through. Okay, you're going to go out in the dark. It's going to stay dark. They're going to say your name in the voiceover, and then the lights come on. When the lights come on, that's your cue to start. Okay, and again, I give that to my monitor. We all need to start at the same time. All the information needs to be the same. She's out there. The artist is out there. We're waiting. I know. I'm looking at the run of show. I know it's our turn, right? It's dark. The house is dark. There's no voiceover happening. And I'm like, cue the voiceover. Cue the voiceover. Where's the voiceover? The house lights come on. So now, to them, I said the last thing will be the house lights, and that's when you begin. So there's been no voiceover. The singers noticed that. And so now she's announcing the artist and didn't even announce herself. Like we talked about, there's those moments of breakdown, and I was so embarrassed for my artist. They're not my artists. It's not my label. It's not my people. Like as an artist, I was so embarrassed for them. And then so upset that it's reflecting on us and we have no control to stop. The third act in a row had a problem. Now, not musically. We were on fire. Okay, so we get through that performance. That performance was great. Fantastic. Great. We are coming up to our very last performance, right? She was the first person to sound check. Very easy going. Everything's fine. What nobody knows, again, nobody knows. She's about to go on stage. I have her sitting here. I put her in-ears in. And then I'm like, where's your keyboard player? Where's your piano player? Oh, I don't know. I haven't seen him tonight.
Oh, no.
I haven't seen him.
I remember you saying, I need him on stage. No, I need to get eyes on him.
like,
I want to see him.
Does anybody know where? So I'm running out there to the people, the handlers, the talent handlers. I was like, hey, where's this table? Look for this guy. He looks like this. And so I have people wandering, looking around for people who they don't even know what they're looking for, you know? And I'm out there on the floor where I shouldn't be, and I'm looking for him, and we're just going crazy, right? Finally, we get a hold of him. We get him on stage. Literally, just kind of like, remember that one guy who was actually performing, then literally just walked up on stage, and we're like, there you are.
Yeah.
So he gets up and he plays. Now, the singer's not stressed. Nobody else is stressed. It's just me. It's just my stress. It's fine. So then, again, everything's happening in the headset that is different from what's happening on stage. And you didn't even get to have a headset. You had Ruby standing next to you telling you things, which again.
You don't want to have a headset hearing all that crap while you're trying to mix a show.
It's like, no.
I tried doing it at the beginning of the set. They had brought one back for me, and all that's going on while you're trying to sort out,
You can't
especially
focus.
when things got a little crazy with us.
Yeah.
So thank God she came over. What an awesome, that really got me through. She was able to kind of follow along and be like a producer.
Oh, we love Ruby. She's great.
Shout out to Ruby.
Yeah, Ruby.
Shout out to Ruby.
She handles it, man.
We love you.
Yeah.
Okay, so now here's the fun part. We're done with performances per se. Like, we're done. I could have the band and the orchestra leave the stage now and then come back just for the reprieve at the end. We have at least 30 minutes of the show left that we're just going to sit there. But I said, you know what? I'm just going to have them sit there. Because they even said, do you want to get the band off stage? And I was like, no, we're going to have them sit here. It's okay. Like, it's fine. So then, literally, like maybe 50 seconds later, they're like, hey, stretch. I hear the producer in the background of somebody else's comm. Like, he's not on the comm. I can hear him over somebody else's comm saying, stretch the show. He's like, all right, Lola, did you catch that? I was like, yeah. What does that mean? You want me to stretch the show? Like, how? Like, are we going to have a presenter? What? And he's like, well, he wants the band to jam.
Why did we need to do this?
I'll tell you why.
Guess how long,
I'll tell you why. So I was like, okay, all right, okay, cool. How long do you want to jam for? And Chris is like, I don't know, 15 minutes. I'm all 15 minutes. Like, I was like, what?
I was like, hell yeah, dude, let's do this.
Are you
a nice solo?
Dude, I got this. That was the redeeming moment. It was being able to do that solo, and I'm just like, yeah, Michael Keaton, now you can see. That was definitely like one of the, because I hear you say we're going to jam for 10 minutes, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? 10-minute jam? And you're like, all right, guys, this is what we're doing. But it was kind of cool because with all the shit that went on, and then you go on the microphone, you're like, Andy, solo. I was like, all right, you're going to give me a 10-minute guitar solo? And I was like, all right, cool. Now I get to redeem myself in front of Michael Keaton. So that was pretty cool.
This is also the guy that is constantly noodling.
I'm a noodler.
What's his name? Ems? What's his nickname?
Squiggle, what is it?
Squiggly McWigglesworth or something? McWigglesworth or something?
Wigglesmith.
Wigglesmith, yeah.
Ingve Wigglesmith Malmstein.
Yeah, because he's always playing his arpeggios.
So now's your
Well, I
time to
love John
shine.
Petrucci, so. But yeah, no, it was cool because after that, like that first moment with everything going down, this was embarrassing, especially when I see that guy. And like I said, I just grew up loving Batman and all of his movies. So I was like, all right, cool. Little redemption moment.
Now I get to be a superhero on guitar.
Yeah, right?
So I try to get my calmest producer voice now because I'm like, how am I going to deliver this crazy message to Nomad? So I get on the bitch mic and I'm like, JT, watch this. And he's all, well, hey, Nomad, can you hear me? Now, everybody on stage, they're all on the in-ears, so they all can hear me, right? And I see Nikki, the lead of the orchestra.
Concertmaster, violin one.
She's like I see her eyes. And she's looking at me. I was like, so we're going to jam. The whole band, we need to stretch the show. We're going to jam. And then JT, because he's my ears to Nomad, JT goes, how long? And I'm all, 10 minutes. 10 minutes. And then the whole horn rows. They're like,
Jam. Now you're telling
You
people
guys
that
are
normally read sheet music. We're going to
orchestra
jam,
to
for
jam?
10 minutes.
I have some insider info on
so
that.
then,
All right, so I'm like, so number one, anytime somebody says jam, what do? E minor jam. E
Funk, dude, yeah.
E blues, E funk. So I said, all right, guys, we're going to go, tick, 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 tick. This is the groove. Tick, 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 tick. We're going to go like this. E, 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 D, tick, D, D, E. E,
literally
E,
telling
D.
them every
So
note.
everybody was rhythm section. The rhythm section starts following it, right?
It was
right?
amazing,
And then I
actually.
say, okay, all right, this
Incredible.
feels good, guys. Keep it right there, right? And I'm like, okay, okay. And I look at Nikki, concert master, violin 1. Nikki, it's all you, girl. Take a solo.
Yeah.
She's doing her thing, right? So, beautiful. Then I talked to my boy Cameron.
Cameron.
Who played. Cameron's amazing. He's the cellist. He played all of the Game of Thrones.
Game of
cellos,
Thrones, yeah.
every
Oh,
single note.
okay.
He
Yeah.
brought in a 311-year-old
cello.
Wow.
That he
And-
got from his great-great-grandmother or something. It's
and
crazy.
he played like a mother on
Yeah,
it.
he's
It was
killing
so good.
So I'm like, all right, Cam, you got a solo. So he's doing his solo, killing it. And then I look, then Andy, I'm like, all right, Andy, give me a Petrucci solo. You know? And he's
I was trying to keep it a Prince.
he's doing
Trying to
all
keep
this,
it Prince.
killing it right. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, yeah, this is great. This is great. And I look over at Jason, our French horn player, and I'm like, all right, Jason, take a solo. And he goes, and I was like, all right, Jason, thank you. Okay.
Yeah, because they're not all.
Because no,
French horns don't do solos.
Here's the crazy part. I was tossing the ball around, trying to kill time, and I wanted to make it seem like I was being equitable for everybody on
Yeah.
stage.
French horn.
You know, so I'm like, what made me call? And then he and I are talking on DMs on Instagram. I'm like, bro, I'm sorry about that throw that I made to you. That pat. He's like, it's okay. He's like, I should probably take an improvisational class.
I mean, to be fair, it's if you're a concert, you know, like they are sheet music.
You
most
don't
of the
need
time.
that.
They're you know,
You're talking about the guy who plays with the LA Symphony. You know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
amazing player.
amazing
but-
musician, but
never
there's
going to be an
it's
improvisation.
such a genre divide.
Yeah.
that Those two worlds don't collide, you know.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
But basically, in essence, we officially did a full band, rock band rhythm section
Yeah.
with mini orchestra jam
yeah, it was.
on the spot.
And then you even did the whole like bringing it down.
Yeah.
You know, we did a lot of cool stuff there. Yeah, that was fun.
No, I want to hear it from you.
It was cool because then, you know, it was really funk, very Prince.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you started to bring it down.
Yeah.
And you were like, we're just sort of like swelling on stuff and like, you know, building tension. And you were like, all right, now we're going to walk up here. We're going to walk up here.
Yep.
And it really did turn out to be a really fun, cool experience. And I think the crowd really dug it.
Yeah.
Because you don't really normally go to a show like that. And then you're like, guess what? 10 minutes of improv.
Improv.
You know, so
Orchestra.
but it was fun. Yeah.
Did it come off in the house?
Yeah, I think
He's like, I don't know. I was sleeping.
I wasn't
I
sleeping.
tuned out.
That's when he blacked out.
You know, I had a few different things going on there because we had a thing. One of the first things you talked to me about was that you'd had a problem in the years past with your talk mic going into front of house. And so that was a thing right away. We're not ever putting that in the house.
Ever.
So we've taken out
Or
everything.
on deck. Right?
Never on the stage, right?
So you come out with a jam, and I don't even necessarily know that
what's
that's going to
happening.
happen.
Yeah.
But then you are talking to people on this microphone.
Yeah.
And since nobody's singing, everyone in the audience is thinking he's singing, and I haven't turned your microphone on.
So now you're getting shat on.
Yeah, he is.
Next to me going.
Yeah.
And so I said to Ruby, I said, I think he might be singing. I don't want to bring this
No.
up because he said not to.
God,
and she
can
goes,
you imagine?
I guarantee you, do not turn on that mic. I said,
Thank
are
you, Ruby.
I
Thank
said,
you.
are you sure? Because he looks like he's singing. You know, you're yelling, you're getting emotional on there. I thought you're trying to get these lyrics really to people. And thank God, thank for Ruby. She kept the, I said, okay. As soon as I knew that wasn't what you were doing up there, I brought it down. And then it was just trying to figure out, because I didn't have the information of who you were necessarily going to on the next solo.
You didn't even know we were going to do a jam.
Yeah.
God.
So that was really interesting. But what I think in that was that, like I said earlier, everybody who was there is involved with the arts, and they all have been involved with some time where a show has gone sideways.
Yeah.
And you guys continuing to at least even play through it, and then at the end just kind of do this thing. Okay, well, here's we're gonna do what we do. We're gonna play some music for you right now.
Yeah.
It may not have anything to do with any of these movies. Here's some music, and everybody was cheering for you. I think, like
Yeah.
you know, when they saw you guys being able to have some fun with it a little bit. I think, you know, the audience seemed like they were on your side the whole time, and that was the one nice saving grace with that. You know,
It was
really good.
It was like our own World Series.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
like people were definitely rooting for us and to get it through, which is really nice. Same thing like with the headset. I'm watching him be on the screen. He's singing. People think he's singing. I'm yelling at the director, please get him off screen. Take a shot of anybody else. And then they end up getting a shot of your ass. And I was like, okay, that's a good shot, but can we maybe get another shot? And it's just, anyway, that's the wild ride. That was
Leave
the
it
show.
to a male camera guy to just hone
All
in
right,
on
you
the
want a different
female
shot?
piano
Here you
player.
go.
Well, what? She looks great. I'll just leave it right there.
You said a different shot. Gosh. Yeah.
M's comment
Well, I didn't
about
know.
that whole section. Yeah.
I didn't know my butt was on the screen. I think I was also still coming down from like everything earlier,
Yeah.
and I was like, "What is going on?" I was like, "Dum, dum, dum." I was like,
Yeah.
"Okay," and I look, and everyone's just their eyes are like on us, like hawks, and I'm like, "Oh my god!" And so I'm just kind of, I feel like I kind of shut that off, like put up a curtain.
Yeah.
And I kept looking back at you.
Yeah.
You were singing.
I wasn't singing, I was talking. And then I was like, okay, all right, go to the 5 chord. I want a nice big B13 here. And then I even said, I started dividing up parts. I said, okay, my woodwinds, my flute and clarinet, I want you guys to do long multi-octave arpeggios on this next chord. So I want you to, and I would say, I want you to go, and I said, my brass, I want you to give me just long tones on the bottom end. And then I would say on my strings, I want an ostinato of ting, 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 ting. And I would call the chord. I say, okay, I'm going to call the chord. I want everybody to play those parts. And okay, here's the chord. I said it, and everybody did that. And it was like, oh, it was amazing. Right. It was literally composing on the spot.
Yeah. No, it was fun.
With a 14-piece, however many piece band. It was crazy. It was amazing. Well, 8 and 7, 15, whatever. It was definitely a moment of zen for me. A moment of like, oh.
A little euphoria.
Yeah, and then I started getting the idea, well, we're definitely going to do this, what we're doing now, the download, the breakdown, the debriefing, the green room discussion. And in the future, I feel like I want to do something where we have a rhythm section and an orchestral section in the same room with no pre-scripted compositions where we jam.
That would be sweet.
That'd be fun.
And I think that is going to be an extension of what we do here at the Career Musician. But I think the whole point of all of this is to adapt and react.
Think about how many things we had to adapt and react on in this show
You know what I'm
alone.
saying?
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The art of the pivot.
I love that. The art of the
Yeah.
pivot.
That happens a lot, I feel like, on stage. Like you have sound check, everything sounds great, and I don't know what it is. You get up on stage and something happens.
Goes wrong.
Yes, and you just got to figure it out. Or like all of a sudden my in-ear pack's not working. And it's like, whoop. Thankfully I had a backup monitor that was tuned perfectly for me, you know, or mixed perfectly for me. But yeah, something always happens. I feel like you got to be ready for it.
You guys ever notice on sound checks where this is a big pet peeve for me? I've worked with many big artists for many years, and the artists who insist on long sound checks, I feel like, are almost cursing their show. Because the magic that happens on stage can only be bottled up into so much. And when you spend 4, 5, 6 hours on stage during sound check, I feel like you depleted that
You're burning that energy.
Yeah.
You
out.
burn
Yeah.
that magic.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm like, hey, I want an hour for line check, roughly,
Yeah.
to make sure. And when I say line check, I mean all the lines are working for the instruments, but also all the lines are working for the monitors and in-ears. And then I want an hour for the actual sound check, 2 hours tops, that's it. And if we can do it within 90 minutes, even better. I want us in and out.
Tight, 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 tight.
But when you spend 3, 4, 5 hours on stage, I believe you just lost them.
Yeah, burnout. Burnout's real. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I agree with you on that. As a matter of fact, believes Satriani, he even when he's warming up, he doesn't play the songs he's going to be performing because he feels like if he does,
Don't waste it at practice.
It for the night. That's
Yeah.
right.
Ooh, the magic.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
So I know that other people feel the same thing. That way
Tell me more about Joe Satriani.
That'll be episode
good.
2. I think we're done here today.
He's pretty good. That kid's pretty good.
The kid's gonna be all right. Yeah.
And just like a real career musician, I have rehearsal to go to.
All right.
All right.
We're done here.
Great job, gang.
It was a wild.
Welcome to the green room.
I'm just a nomad, nowhere man. A nomad.